Hi, in this video we're going to find the maximum point of a quadratic graph, and we've sort of explored how to do it before, where the quadratic equation is already in something called completed square form, and completed square form just looks like this here. So it's where we have like an x in a bracket, then all squared, and then maybe plus some constant after it or subtract some constant. And if we got it in this form, we saw why we end up with a turning point, and a turning point could be a maximum point or a minimum point, why it was of this form here. So remember, whatever the number was in front of the, after the x in this square bracket, so that plus b, you negate it, and that becomes the x value of your turning point. So the plus b becomes minus b. And then the thing after the squared was just the y value of your turning point. So we need to complete the square. So we're going to write this quadratic out again. Minus x squared, we just write minus 1x squared. And then we've got plus 6x minus 7. And then to do this, to complete the square, remember the strategy was, we've explored this in previous videos, whatever the number is in front of the x squared, the coefficient of the x squared, you factorize it out of the first two terms. And then we're going to leave the minus 7, minding its own business after that. So let's take out the minus 1 out of those first two terms. Minus 1 times what is minus 1x squared? Well, it's x squared. And minus 1 times what is plus 6x? It's minus 6x. So just to reiterate, we factorize out the number in front of the x squared out of the first two terms. We've done that. The second step is to complete the square inside the bracket. So I'm just going to copy everything outside the bracket. And then you're going to complete the square on this expression here. Right, now how do we complete the square? What we do is whatever the number is in front of the x term, which is minus 6, you halve it. So we're going to open a bracket, we're going to put the x, we're going to halve the minus 6 to become minus 3, then close the bracket and squared. And then after that, what we do is whatever this number is here, we square it and throw away. We square it and throw away, because we don't want it. So minus 3 squared is positive 9, and then we throw away the 9. So we're going to have minus 9. And the reason that works is if you expand this out, that would give you x squared minus 6x plus 9, but the minus 9 then cancels out the plus 9, so you're just left with the x squared minus 6x. Now the final step to complete the square is you expand the outer bracket. So we're going to do the minus 1 times the x minus 3 squared, which is just minus 1 x minus 3 squared. Don't expand out the inner bracket, otherwise we get back to where we started. And then the minus 1 times the minus 9 is plus 9. And a mistake the students often make is they forget to basically do the number on the front times by the minus 9. They just put minus 9 here rather than the plus 9 because they forgot to times by the minus 1. And then finally, we got this minus 7 that was on its own, minding its own business. And then let's just tidy up. We've got minus 1, x minus 3 squared. 9 minus 7 is plus 2. So we now have it in completed square form. Let's look back at this box here. We said that this number after the x, we negate that as the x value of our turning point. So we're going to negate the minus 3 to become plus 3 in our turning point as the x value. And then this number in front after the squared, we just use that in its unchanged form as the y value for our turning point. So therefore, our turning point, in this case, a maximum point, is going to be 3, 2, and we're done.